Hello everyone, my name is Rose, and this is my story. My mother-in-law, Sherry, is a vain and shallow woman. She wasn't always like this. Her behavior changed later in life, or at least that's what my husband Dylan says. Dylan and Sherry didn't grow up rich. They lived a modest life together after Dylan's father passed away when Dylan was just 4 years old. Since then, Sherry became the one who earned money for the family. They lived simply until Dylan got a great job after college. Dylan is a very smart and kind man, and I'm not just saying that because he's my husband. He got a full scholarship to medical school and became a doctor. After that, Sherry started living a luxurious life, while Dylan remained humble. The reason I'm telling you all this is that I still don't understand how and why Sherry became so shallow. I don't have a job for several reasons that I'll explain later, but that doesn't mean I'm poor or depend on others for help. Somehow, Sherry got the wrong idea about me when we first met. I'm not sure if it was my clothes or how I acted, but Sherry didn't like me from the start. When we first met, Sherry said to Dylan, "Is this the girl you've been talking about? She's so plain and average. Why would you choose someone like her? Does she even have a job?" I introduced myself. "My name is Rose, Sherry. No, I don't have a job." Sherry quickly interrupted, "Just as I thought. You're planning to trap my son and take all his money. I know women like you, you're nothing but gold diggers and parasites. Don't think you can fool me." Dylan tried to defend me, saying, "Mom, that's so rude. You don't even know Rose. She's a great person from a great family. You have no right to talk to her like that." Sherry responded, "Dylan, how can you speak to me like that? I'm only trying to protect you. You can't ruin our family's name by marrying this classless woman. You need to raise your standards. It's clear she doesn't match our social or economic status." This led to a big argument between Dylan and Sherry right in front of me. Dylan was getting really angry, so we decided to leave. On our way home, Dylan apologized for his mother. He said, "I'm so sorry, Rose. My mom doesn't know how to act like a sane person anymore. I know her words hurt you." I replied, "It's not your fault, Dylan, but your mom seems like a horrible lady. Please don't worry, but I don't think I'll ever feel comfortable around her." Dylan explained, "Rose, you know she's the only parent I have left. We don't have much extended family either. I can't cut her off completely. I'll never push you to be friends with her, but can you at least be civil around her?" I agreed. "I can be respectful towards your mom, Dylan, but I don't think she can do the same." Dylan assured me, "Don't worry, Rose. I'll keep her in check. If her behavior gets worse, we can consider going low contact or something. I love my mom, but I also love you. I won't let her keep harassing you." I was a little unsure about how things would go between Sherry and me. Dylan promised he'd stand up for me, but I still felt uneasy. Dylan and I got married 3 years after we started dating. We had a small court wedding because we were short on money. You might wonder why. Well, Dylan was sending a lot of money to Sherry every month because of her emergencies. Even after we got married, Dylan kept giving his mother a large amount of money every month. It started affecting our finances, but I didn't stop him. I thought he had the right to help his mom. However, Sherry was becoming a big problem for me. She often talked badly about me and gossiped with her friends, telling everyone I was a gold digger. I usually ignored these comments, but it was starting to hurt my reputation. Sherry also never treated me nicely, despite Dylan's efforts to make things better between us. She was convinced that I wasn't good enough for her son. Then, surprisingly, one day Dylan told me, "Rose, Mom called me today. She's hosting a small party and wants to invite you." "Are you sure she really wants to invite me?" I asked. "I don't see why she'd invite me, since she hates me," I said. "I've talked to her several times, Rose. She promised to be better, so maybe that's why she's inviting you to the party," Dylan replied. "That's strange, Dylan. I wonder where she's getting all this money for a party. Just this month, she said she needed money for car repairs. I guess she managed somehow. It's just a small gathering of 4 people or so. It won't be very expensive, and Mom seems excited about it. She really wants you there," Dylan explained. "Well, if that's what she wants, I'll go. You know, I don't mind spending time with her. It's just her comments and behavior towards me that are the problem. It looks like Mom is making an effort. Let's see what happens. Just keep an open mind about this. I really want you two to become friends," Dylan said. I doubted that Sherry would ever want to be friends with me. I mean, I could be civil to her and try on my side because I love Dylan, but it didn't seem like Sherry cared about Dylan's happiness at all. Even though I was skeptical, I decided to go to the party, but I had to wait for details from Sherry. Sherry texted me the very next day. I thought she was going to invite me through these texts, but here's what happened instead. Hey Rose. Dylan may have told you that I've been planning a party recently, Sherry said. Yes, Sherry. Dylan mentioned it to me last week. Are you texting to talk about that? I replied. Why else would I text you, Rose? You're of no use to me anyway. So I've been planning to go to this 5-star hotel in town that everyone has been raving about. I promised my friends I would take them there, and this is finally my chance, Sherry said. That's nice of you, Sherry. Will there be a lot of people? I asked. Yes, of course. You know I have many friends since I am a wealthy lady with a good family name in this town. I'm taking 15 people to the party and we're going to have a blast, Sherry said. Sounds like a great plan, Sherry. When do you want me to get there? I asked. Who said you could come? I didn't invite you yet, Sherry shot back. I was a little taken aback by this. I mean, Dylan clearly told me that his mom was going to invite me. Apparently, Sherry had told him that herself, and he had been genuinely happy for the past week because he thought this was Sherry trying to build a relationship with me. But what Sherry said completely threw me off. I was really confused as to why she was even telling me about the party if she didn't want to invite me. I said, "Oh, I assumed I was invited since you told Dylan that I was. I'm a little confused." Dylan can get a little carried away at times, Rose. I'm just informing you that I will be hosting a party, but you are not invited. This is a fancy place, and my friends and I are very particular about who we take with us. Yes, I'm throwing a party at a 5-star hotel, but don't even think about coming because you are not as classy as my family and friends, Sherry said. Okay, Sherry, I got the message loud and clear. Don't worry, since you don't want me to come, I won't. I don't care what Dylan said. If you don't want me there, I won't go. This is your day, and I don't want to be where I'm not wanted, I responded. I'm glad we cleared that up, Rose. That's all I needed to say. Now I need to get back to planning the party. There's a lot to do, and you probably wouldn't understand since you've likely never been to a big party, let alone planned one. After that, I didn't bother replying. People know me as patient and kind, but I have my limits, just like anyone else. Sherry was really testing me today. I hated that I even had a little hope that she might be trying to make peace. But no, she was just showing off her status and trying to make me feel inferior again. There was no olive branch. I was wrong and I felt stupid, but I wasn't going to let her get to me. I wasn't going to curse her out or anything. I had better things to do, and I knew karma would come for her one day. I didn't tell Dylan anything and simply waited for the day of the party to arrive. On the day of the party, Sherry had the nerve to send me a picture of herself and her friends. They were all dressed in designer clothes and busy posting pictures on social media. Sherry sent me the picture to show off how classy her friend circle is. It was downright disgusting. I didn't reply and just went back to work. About 3 hours later, I got a call from my dad. Now, here's something I should confess. My dad owns the hotel where Sherry was having her party. Sherry had no idea about this. 3 years ago, I got a nice inheritance from my grandfather, which I invested in my dad's business, so now I get a share of the profits from the hotel and the other businesses my dad owns. I actually come from a pretty well-off family, but I don't like to show it off, which is why Sherry didn't know about my background. She also didn't realize how expensive a 5-star hotel and its restaurant can be. She let her friends order whatever they wanted without even looking at the prices. The result? She was left with a $22,000 bill. That was exactly what ruined her and gave me my revenge. My dad called and said, "Rose, your mother-in-law is at the hotel." She came with a party and ordered a ton of food and champagne, racking up a bill of $22,000. Now she's asking for a 50% discount because she's short on cash. What should I do, Rose? I know she's your mother-in-law, but this is a lot of money. My servers are also upset because they were rude and entitled. God, just as I expected, Dad. This woman and her group are absolutely horrible. They have no respect for people and love to make fun of others. You know, she bragged to me about today's party and said I wasn't invited. What the hell? Why would she do that to you? That's absolutely ridiculous, my dad said. Yeah, Dad, She told me about the party just to rub it in my face that I wasn't invited. She said I wasn't classy or rich enough to get an invite. That's funny, coming from the woman who doesn't even have the money to pay for her party. You should have seen her arguing that we need to give her a discount because she brought us so much business. She went to the restaurant one day and is already claiming she brings in all the business. So typical of her. Rose, just hearing this is exhausting. I can't imagine what you and our poor staff are going through. I know, right? That woman even threatened to leave bad reviews if we didn't give her the discount. But we know better than to be scared of that. I'm going to leave this to you, Rose. Looks like you have the perfect chance to get back at her for what she said to you. That's exactly what I was thinking, Dad. You know what? Make her wash the dishes and get her friends to help too. Make sure they clean the entire kitchen, the dishes, and the floor since they insulted our staff as well. Let's get them some revenge too. If my mother-in-law tries anything stupid, you can call the cops on her. My dad laughed at my suggestion and gave me a big thumbs up. He even offered to share pictures of the event. When it happened, I really would have loved to see Sherry reap what she had sown. Dad promised to do as I suggested and hung up. An hour later, he sent me pictures of Sherry and her friends washing dishes and wiping the floor at our restaurant. Dad also said that when Sherry saw him come out as the restaurant owner, she looked relieved. She started telling her party that she knew the owner and that they'd get out of the situation. She was shocked when Dad told her to go clean his restaurant. Apparently, she was dumbstruck for a while and muttered something. Dad said that since she didn't consider me family, he wasn't considering her family either. It was hilarious. I wish I was there, but I did get some good pictures. After a while, Dylan came home looking pretty pissed off. I could tell he had heard from Sherry what had happened. I also knew she must have given him a twisted account of the events. He walked up to me and said, "Rose, what is this I'm hearing? Your father made my mom wipe down his restaurant and wash dishes. She said you told your dad to do this. What's going on?" "Sorry about that, Dylan. Dad did what is usual in this situation. Your mother went to our restaurant, racked up a $22,000 bill, and then said she didn't have more than $1,000. She also harassed our staff, and her party was a nightmare. I thought this would be a fitting punishment." "Wait a minute, Rose. Mom racked up a $22,000 bill? Who the hell did she take with her? What did they order?" "She took 15 people with her, Dylan. They ordered a lot of expensive stuff. I thought you knew about this. Mom told me she was taking 4 people only and that she invited you, but you declined." "No, Dylan, things didn't happen that way. Your mom did tell me about her party, but she didn't invite me. She did tell me that I didn't deserve an invite for not being classy enough. I can show you the text if you want." "What the hell, Rose?" "Yes. Please show me the text, and please ask your dad to send me the bills." I showed Dylan all the texts, and my dad sent him the bills. I also showed him some of the pictures to make him understand how many people Sherry took with her. Dylan got extremely mad when he saw everything. He called Sherry and said, "Mom, what the hell is wrong with you? You didn't tell me the full story. You only told me that you were a few dollars short of cash." "I told you the truth, Dylan. That wicked woman Rose must have given you a different story. I swear, Dylan, she purposely tried to sabotage me. That's why she declined my invitation." "Is that so, Mom? Then why did your text to her say that she wasn't invited? And why did you insult my wife by saying she's not classy enough for you?" "Oh, Dylan, it was just a harmless joke." "What was a harmless joke, Mom?" "The fact that you're calling your daughter-in-law names while spending thousands of dollars that you took from your son. Does being classy mean you have to rob your family and spend it on friends to look cool?" "Well, I just wanted a small party for me, Dylan. I don't know what the big deal is." "You think spending $22,000 on food and drink isn't a big deal? Do you think my money grows on trees? You're insane, Mom. Guess I was wrong to give you money whenever you gave me sob stories about needing it." "Well, guess what, Mom? I'm not giving you any more money again." "But Dylan, you've been so supported for me for so long. You can't just stop now. It was a one-time mistake, Dylan. Why are you overreacting?" "No, Mom, I'm not overreacting. This isn't a one-time mistake. If you can't even consider my wife as family, I don't want anything to do with you. I always thought you'd change your mind, but you never did. I'm not paying you to insult my wife while she sacrifices a lot to support you. This ends now. Dylan, please listen to me. I'm sorry." Dylan didn't listen to Sherry anymore. He hung up on her and blocked her number. He also apologized to me profusely for being mad at me without knowing the full story. I forgave him because he stood up for me. We had a serious discussion about Sherry and decided that she would no longer be in our lives for now. Yes, Dylan is now a rich man, but he knows to stay humble. He found Sherry's behavior completely unacceptable, especially since it was directed towards me. I agreed it was very unfair that Sherry treated me like that, and I was all set to remove her from our lives for good. In the next few days, Sherry realized her own actions might have damaged her relationship with her son for good, and that sent her into a panic. She showed up at our house, demanding to speak with Dylan. Slowly, her demands turned into begging after she was turned away every time. Yes, Sherry worked to earn some money, but it wasn't enough for the high-end lifestyle she had gotten used to. All these years, Dylan had stopped giving her money entirely. Instead, he invested some of his funds into my dad's business to help him open new hotels and restaurants in nearby towns. We plan on expanding our hotel business to bigger cities, but we'll have to see what the future holds. Since Dylan stopped sending her funds, Sherry had to downgrade her lifestyle a lot. She struggled to keep her rented condo with her own money and ultimately decided to end her lease. She has now shifted to a small one-bedroom apartment and doesn't have any money to spend on extras after paying her bills. How do we know this? She emails us about it, of course. She still downplays her behavior and acts like we're overreacting. Suffice it to say, she'll be out of our lives for a while now. Just a month ago, I found out I was pregnant. Dylan and I are overjoyed and busy planning everything before the baby comes. Honestly, I'm glad that my child won't be around shallow people like Sherry anymore. But if the time comes, I'll make sure my dear mother-in-law doesn't get to fill my child's head with nonsense. For now, please wish us luck so we can be good parents to a healthy child.